All right, Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shalonda again, and I'm back. And I'm just sitting here, I'm just looking at all the controversy or whatever about the whole insurrection, right? Okay. So again, I'm gonna take another tail. I'm gonna take a tailspin or another way of looking at this because it's offensive. It's very overly offensive to me for a lot of different reasons, or one different reason, I guess, being someone who actually knows that they are the true son of God, knowing that they are the true Holy One of Israel. And even if that is Israel and then the Holy One, it being the feminine aspect of that energy. And I do believe it's supposed to be a masculine and feminine energy. Maybe one from below and one from above. Okay? That are supposed to be in union. But these people are trying everything in their power to do anything to keep them from being in union and being in a position of power that they're supposed to be in. So again, by attaching monitor energies or attaching things to people through fifth generation technology or whatever in order to cipher ideas and mindset and things of this nature. Right? And I feel like, again, it's making me take a whole separate look at my whole relationship, like I said, for the past couple of years. And do I even know who the fuck I've been with? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like sleeping with the enemy. I'm just going to keep it real on this platform. And there was a spark of a renewed something when that Eight of Cups energy came in, which felt like it was something genuine. But then after so long, so much time went by, it let me know that it was some type of illusion that was given for me, some type of disruption or something that was placed in my life in order to cause confusion and keep me, right? Because again, me and him are Tauruses. He has a cross on his coat of arms, and damn, I can't remember what's on my coat of arms. Yeah, I can't remember right now. I don't think there's anything like prominent. I think it's like just the jagged edges and people or something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. But again, so this whole energy of dying on the cross, it just has me tripping out. And how again they killed the Christ energy. And I don't want to. I'm sorry I had to keep using these terms, but I don't have a Bible here with me. But it was a sense of a holy one or a Christ or I don't think it was Jesus was mentioned. Okay. That was killed between the two pillars or whatever. So again, at the same time, I'm feeling like at some point in time, they killed off that telepathic energy or connection between me and the true divine masculine, the one that was helping me through this time when my the regular masculine that I was with was not into any of it or seemed not to be. But the whole time I'm feeling like he been watching me. This shit is crazy, y'all. I don't even want to talk about it. But it's so weird. But I just don't want to talk about it. But then again, I do. It's so disturbing, I guess, to me. Because he's very quiet. So I don't even know how much he really actually knows. I don't know how much of this is happening to him telepathically. How much is it that's just going on? Because sometimes it feels like I'm me. Whatever I'm saying to you guys is legit. It's coming from a different part of me. It's coming from my soul. But then also, you're dealing with the mind as well. All the information I've taken in, all the things that I've seen, all the things that I know, all the things like this. So again, it's like having somebody nesting in your dome or in the Capitol, right? And they're just digging out all the records. Remember when the insurrection happened, they said they was taking paperwork and all the paperwork was all on the floor, and you seen them talking about they was taking people's laptops and stuff like that. And matter of fact, I'm wondering if one of my laptops wasn't left at that old house. Because there's something says you left something behind. I don't know. Well, that's off subject. But anyways, so you see how that is. And you see how, again, the men are climbing up the walls. You know what I'm saying? And again, that makes me think about the Wailing Wall and crying out, right? After all of these days, again, being in an area that has been left behind in so-called Afghanistan. Okay. So again, and having to wonder if this is a literal, physical, or spiritual, having these men climbing on the walls. Or again, I feel like it is, maybe is it the Eight of Swords, where the girl is standing with the swords there, but her southern border is open and there's a leak coming from in front of her, okay, or between her legs or on the ground in front of her. And it's like her border, everything else is shielded, but the border is open. You see what I'm saying? So what does that actually mean? Does that have something to do with astro energy? Is that the reason why that explosion happened at that astro world? You know what I'm saying? It's just all this shit that I'm asking myself. Was that Kali energy? You know, I did the video on Kali and Devi and Camilla. Okay. So it's putting all this shit together to me, for me, the whole Isis K in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And the whole daughter of Pharaoh, possibly, when it comes to New York. All these people putting all of their stuff together to battle against God. Splitting the river into four and putting these these other feminines in these positions, and it giving them a well-equipped information, knowledge, land, or whatever to build, to make it look like the Empress ain't shit. When the Empress always really just been taken care of. She's always been sitting like an Empress. And when she's at the brink of starting, her children are gone, and most of her children are gone, meaning me, right? And she's on the brink of something, then this whirlwind of something comes in. So when you look at insurrection, it says it's an uprising against civil authority. So this is a whole kingdom, damn near, it feels like to me, in a spiritual sense, if people want to think it's silly in the 3D or in this realm right now. But there is to be a kingdom on this plane. And it seems that they want to eliminate the true ones from that plan. The cornerstones that they want to cut or remove or keep gone or bury. So this is an upright, and again, the calm before the storm, like Trump said, right? So it says an uprising against civil authority. Okay. They don't want what it's supposed to be. So they've used media, government, all these other officials, governors in some states, in order to restrict, to bind, to intimidate, to as what do you call it? Domestic terrorists, in order to bully their way and embarrass people that are actually of royal bloodlines, that are destined, and even if they're not, they're ordained to be doing certain things. And they have targeted many of us because of our spirit, because of who we are. They'll try to take you down before they give it back. And the people will go along with them when you are a part of the people that at least help them unchain their brain to a certain extent. But nobody gives credit because they just want this energy here to disappear. And I'm not going no fucking where. And I've been knowing it. I've been knowing it. Thinking back, I'm looking at how people used to look at me and the family when I was a child. Looking back, I'm thinking, and I always just treated people right. I always been the one fight for somebody. I'll go in somebody's face and fight for somebody before anybody else. I'll protect people. I'll do all these things. I had to break that. Source had to take me through some of these things for me to learn these lessons, to take back my power and to know who I am and to be able to pinpoint with much accuracy who it is and what it was. It says a rising up, an action from past participle stem, okay, to rise up, okay, insurgent. I don't know why I was just thinking divergent, but anyways, organized opposition to authority, a conflict in which one fraction tries to wrest control from another. All right. So again, they didn't want what God had in store for them. They wanted to keep up with their wicked ways. So they did their wicked ways. And so I about to say Wikipedia. But anyways, Yeah. And so again, they decided to come up with this scheme of things as far as to probably put cameras in people's homes and certain things like this in order to be able to blackmail you or to recruit family members and spouses and shit. Again, whether we're talking about this realm, the 5D, whatever D, it don't matter. Okay, what I'm saying is, however they're able to do this spiritually, financially, physically, however, these particular types of attacks that they're doing. One who rises in revolt against a government or its laws, 1745. Okay, 1745. So again, this would be before or prior to there being a president in the Americas or with the United States corporation. Okay, so again, that 10-mile radius or whatever that would be in Washington. To rise against, stand high, gather force against. Again, this is the Antichrist. You're waiting for a man. You're not going to see one, because the Antichrist is this whole energy that they created, and it didn't stop on the 6th. For me, spiritually and even in the physical, I feel like this represents the fall of a line, a lineage, the fucking line. You understand what I'm saying? The bloodline of stewards, meaning the meaning of that, protectors of the land, owners of the land, while everybody else is having a free for all and smashing and grabbing what belongs to my bloodline anyway, coming and trying to take the very essence and the very soul of America today and fragment it and pass it out, passing the crown out, or la corona out to everyone, giving bits and pieces to cause all of this this friction and all of this division and all of this confusion, when I'm not confused about a damn thing. But they think because they have their money and they're doing things in their crafty counsel and in their high places, that they can't be seen. So to learn everything you know about the golden one or the chosen one, and then try to remake it or replenish it, to subdue it first and then replenish it. Because in the beginning, the earth was first. And that's all the fuck you need to know. The earth was first. And then it talks about it being a dark, chaotic mass and all this other stuff, when it's really them that are the darkness. They are the darkness. The earth was fine in the beginning. They caught on to what was going on because they tried to go ahead and put some shit together, and they thought it was going to work one way. And because there was already a connection there, and it was something stronger than they can even imagine, because this was something that was really actually natural, they ended up dismantling it when it comes to the Bagram energy. This means that they have been invading all my life, sending messages and signals and false information and downloads and uh, friends and siblings and all. Just, it's just kind of like, again, someone being possessed. These people being possessed. They're possessing some type of something and bring into my atmosphere as being that energy that feels like I'm in the world card. And it's kind of like, again, keeping someone stuck. It's keeping them bound, because you need what you need, but they feel like they got what they need now. So if I speak now, you know what I'm saying, they can just silence me with the algorithms or whatever they do with the internet, or, they can do whatever pretty much they want to do. And then I will just fade away or just die or have to worry about my livelihood or my life for the rest of my life. Because I don't know how many people and who all they have exposed me to that might know who I am, know where I live, know what I'm about to do, have tracking devices on me, and all of these other things. And it's a crime. It's a crime. Not even just against humanity, but against God. I am the Father, and the Father is in me. I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. So again, how I feel like, regardless of anybody wanting to think that or knowing that, it's something that I know. It's something that I know that I have been targeted on a large scale. I can sense and see that these people see exactly who I am. There are others, but again, there is only one. Or I say two when it comes to that Yeshua or Jesus Christ energy. And more than likely, they're not going to have blood on their hands. They're not going to be doing all these other wretched things that these people are doing. They're not going to feel comfortable. And now I see kind of like why the divine masculine energy possibly could know. I don't know how much they know about me, how accurate I am. I feel like I'm like on point. But again, they're still altering. I still see a lot of like shifty energy or shape shifting or doppelganger or, in the likeness of energy here, where they might be skeptical and I might be skeptical. It's like, are you the one, the one? And I'm like, are you the one, the one? You see? It's just like this weird energy here. So again, I was just looking at Insurgent. I wanted to look at it real quick again. Gather force, rise up against. Okay. I'm a person who takes part in an armed rebellion against the constituted authority in hopes of improving conditions. Now, this makes me think about a dream that I had a long time ago. Now, this is probably around time when I thought that I had the vid. Well, I probably did. I think I did. But I think I had it twice, I think, actually. But it just heals itself within a couple of days. Like I healed myself. And I know that somebody around me had it and I had it and I healed myself and they still sick and I'm not. And I also feel like, again, it was the assistance of the ancestors and guides, angels or God, whatever you want, whatever complex you want to use, while I was resting or while I was sick. Because I feel like, again, it wasn't just anything. It was airborne in another way. Actually, I feel like, again, it hit those particular people for a reason. The whole family got sick except for my daughter. And I was skeptical about sending my daughter that day because we don't really celebrate the holy days, okay? Meaning these ones that are geared by consumerism. But she wanted to wear her pretty dress, and so I went ahead and allowed her to go. But she's the only one out of like 10 people or whatever that did not get sick. And then it took me 9 days after that person had it, and that's the only person I would have been around to even get something. And again, it came and went in a couple of days. But at that time, Source was telling me it's something that had to be done for what people have been doing. And I'm like, I don't see what these people could have been doing. I've known these people all my life. Blah, 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 blah. And then I always remember, it's not only just us, it's the energy you attach to. It's your ancestors, my ancestors. It's all kind of shit. It's deep. It just goes deeply more rooted. But if you're not like paying attention to it on that level, and it's all fun and games and about twin flames and who's most of these people about who's sleeping with who and this and that and that and that, all that stuff has been hidden from me. So if somebody's been doing some kind of work like that on me, I don't know nothing about it. I would like to see it just to know what it is. I'm very curious about what's going on with me besides me. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wouldn't be? Now that I know that it's really probably going on, like I want to know even more. So it's just like weird to me. But I had a dream about like being like murdered or whatever, shot actually. But I don't know. It was some kind of weird thing or whatever, where it wasn't my time or something. I don't know. It was just, and this was a while back. So again, the fact, this whole thing about this gun thing, and the fact that I did that video on this whole thing, cracking it and showing you again that it was somewhat of a coup, but to a certain extent, right? I didn't know how personal it was to me. I didn't know how that, but I think we did something on the woman that was supposedly shot or whatever. And, you know, like I feel like, again, people might think some way because of the video I did, but you have to be seeing it from those different perspectives. If you're not in your program to only see things one way, then you're not going to understand it, obviously. But it doesn't change anything, but actually make me think, because I think I said something about a deer or something about her struck in the chest. And maybe we even did something from the biblical text on that. So again, it make me wonder again, who is that feminine energy representing? They're giving us perception that it was this woman here, but who is it actually representing in real life? You see what I'm saying? Was that some kind of, just like why I'm thinking about like a rising phoenix or ashes or something like that when it comes to those plastered, because we did a video a while back on like those statues and stuff like that that's in the Capitol building or whatever building Biden did his speech in, and you have those statues back there in bronze and white. And we did something on how like I think it was saying in the Bible something about covered in white or something. We did a whole thing on it. Y'all could just, like I said, you could have to shop through the channel. But within the past 2 years or whatever, whenever that happened, whatever date, if you go back and look, you'll see the videos that was being done around that time. Okay. And it was talking about like a white covering or wax or coating or something like that. And so we did some scriptures and matched it up to some of those statues and what that might actually mean. Okay. So anyway, let's keep moving. All right. Well, I'm hearing dude on South Park, authority. But anyway, it's constituted authority, okay? Especially in hopes of improving conditions. So again, they're afraid because I was going against the transgender. They was afraid that not even going against it, but talking about it, the fact that the children should not be introduced to it in school, and talking about it in the fact of like, why don't people know? With this agenda, not to the people personally, but what this agenda seems to be doing when it comes to the womb. That's a problem for me. Because if you make it like it's not important, if you make it like it doesn't matter, then it won't matter. You dig what I'm saying? The reason for bringing it up is that there's not really so-called women in these particular situations or these positions, then if they're not really women, then they're not really, are they really standing for women? Or is this why it is a man's world? And then they'll use women against women to bring down women. And then you wonder if they are even women. So again, it is a question mark there for me. And it's always going to be that way. It's nothing personal against whoever's doing whatever and 21 and older or whatever, however you old, and you plan to do something with your life or you change yourself or anything like that. I've never treated anybody differently. I have people in my family. I mean, come on, we ain't even got to go there because that's just like somebody saying I got black friends. Okay. But my whole thing is, again, if you've been watching my platform, if you've been, again, walking with me on Facebook all this time, you already know where I stand with it. So a member in of an irregular armed forces that fight. So, okay, that fights a stronger force by sabotage and harassment, guerrilla warfare. Okay, so again, gorilla glue. Okay. All right. So again, yeah. Okay. So I'm seeing. Okay. Why am I thinking? What is goodness, y'all? Caesar, Planet of the Apes. But anyways, again, how many of us? Again, when these people are talking about all this remote viewing and stuff like that, who are they working with? Again, do they get to know that they were a part, that they're veterans or they were a part of some special forces, but people that are actually the real MVP don't get to know that they were a part of it because you never plan on letting them play their role because you just want them to disappear? You want to make them think like they need to go somewhere else or they need to move themselves and move somewhere else? It's never going to change. It's never going to change. I am the reason I feel, again, just like they are the reasons for me. They are the reasons, the masculines, the three swords that are in my heart when it's talking about the three of swords. Those three masculines, when it comes to the world card, the high priestess, the empress, just the whole, when it comes to the empress in general, and her having to put her heart on her sleeve or whatever. While I was there to help and heal them. And again, I could have hurt in the 3D hurt, again, especially with my mouth sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Just minimal amount of times, right? When I had to, whatever. But it's just like all this other in the other dimensions or whatever, dealing with this, I was nothing but, you know what I'm saying? I felt helpful. And so again, to have those two go in the heart, and then also, you know what I'm saying, to have the one that is actually was there to make sure you just were in a safe, having a safe footing, right? Even infiltrating that body or that vessel, because again, I will admit that he is not a believer. So how it seemed like somebody that's not a believer is going to be put over me. Do you see what I'm saying? That don't make no sense, right? When I'm not a believer in religious aspect of God, but I know that there's a God. You see what I'm saying? And actually, it's a very more comfortable, pleasing, close relationship than anything. It's almost like a dad or a grandpa energy. But also, I have to take those battle scars, but to a certain extent, though. But I've never been worried. I ain't never been touched. Zion can't be moved, lest it be by the hand of God. But what they can do is try to use these coven of witches to try to push me off of my throne, to try to push me off my square, to try to make me feel uncomfortable, try to make me think that they got more power and possession over the wands and things, and to make these other feminine energies look more, better or something in a sense, right? And show me in a light when there's a whole world on my fucking shoulders, and I'm mentally having to deal with all this stuff and do it on my own, because finding out that all the masculines maybe have been working against me from the beginning, right? To see what they can get to give it to another bitch. It's actually disgusting, and it is making my stomach turn. In opposition to a civil authority or government, they were afraid. They were afraid. Again, we could go back to the Diana energy of her being the one that was going to come and be the destroyer of one particular race. But they should have never attacked, even if it is, that's not what my intentions was. But if you're going to attack me and you're going to attack my children, you're going to attack me and you're going to take everything from me, even again, what is supposed to be ordained by me, by the Lord, possibly, right? And then source itself. But if I don't know that I'm source, then how the hell I'm going to get it? If I don't admit that is that I have that particular relationship with source. If I allow people to keep saying that we are all the bride, no, there is a bride, and it's not everybody in my eyes. It could be in yours, but I'm just saying in my eyes, my perspective is different. Once you do that, you dilute the energy of the Christ. Just like to be in that likeness of Christ, or be in Christ consciousness, you would have to come in contact with possibly one of these males that would have had access to the feminine energy to spread that light or spread that something. And then take that and actually use those particular feminine energies to turn against that feminine energy. It's off the chain. It's actually really just, it's genius, but it's kind of crazy. So again, I don't know what's in them damn antidotes or so-called shots. But let's see what it means to rest, okay? To twist. Yeah, so this is what they was doing, trying to twist my view on things. Again, this is a war against God. This is a war against God. It really is. Because they tell you, oh, God know everything. He's all good. And this. You believe all these things about God. You don't know God have feelings. You don't know that, again, that the Ruach or that wisdom has been on this earth from the beginning of time in different vessels throughout time. To turn, to bend, to pull, to detach something, to take by force, reference to power, authority. So again, this could be, I feel bad for, again, at least the masculine or whatever, because I feel like, again, they have gone through some type of abuse at some point to protect me, and maybe they just couldn't do it anymore. So they folded, some of them. But I think there's one masculine that still is there. I could just never tell which one of him, meaning like which, when we're dealing with chakras or whatever, that I'm going to get, because I've put different kind of what can I say, to his energy, like facial features or facial recognition or something to different characters. If I don't know if you know what I mean, but I'm just saying, okay? So it says obtained by seizing forcefully and violently, okay? So again, this makes me think again that people are able to access again or tap into your energy or access you without your knowing, through some type of, I don't know, virtual, holographic, some kind of something that I don't know what the hell we dealing with. Again, alien, foreign. Or really, once somebody gives you the perception of something and you perceive it that way, since perception is almost every damn thing, you know what I'm saying? That is just how you're going to, you can start to believe that, or it can start to be something that forms your opinion or your of yourself, or forms your viewing. And it's just like all of this, they doing all of this for these feminine energies, only to hover around and come back and see that I'm probably not where they think I should be, but I'm progressing, right? But also knowing that they've had their hand, neck, it's almost like all three of them had their something on me to keep me strapped down. So nobody will see the star actually fuming and flaming and rising, and you know what I'm saying, trying to go up to its fixed place. So that whole USS Bruton with that star trapped at the bottom, even to use other family members to climb, it's actually very sickening to me. To twist, to turn, to bend, to take by force, reference to power, authority. All right? And then they say, oh, you're not supposed to publicly say anything that's going to hurt anyone's feelings, and you can't publicly threaten anyone. But again, the queen or the empress, if her life is at stake and in danger, and it's her fucking empire, when she say off with your head, it's off with your motherfucking head. So I'm just trying to figure out I'm just trying to figure out what it is. And I don't literally mean that we need to be going around with no sword and slicing off no damn heads. But I'm saying that somebody need to be, it's like the head is missing when it comes to the government or the capital, when it comes to the Senate or it's like, where is the head of the eagle? You know what I'm saying? When you look up like the different countries and stuff like that, you only really see the head of the eagle, but it's like it's missing. So there's nothing of the eagle left. So what owns America? Who? So bad they didn't want the rightful people to be doing what they're doing. So again, what have they allowed to be done here? And then to criticize somebody and withhold information and funds and things like this from people that are due to them. See? Because it's not about the vid. No, it's about who you are. It's about you being the elders in that allegorical or symbolic sense. Those who remember who you are. The books are open, like it says in Revelations, and somebody wants to close them. And I'm not the one. I'm not the one. When I'm reading that text, it's telling me that you are not the one, that you're not going to be intermingled with that. Whatever's in that, it's not going in you. But see, we got people trying to play God. You got Satan running things from heaven right now. Damn near always been there. So you wouldn't know God coming to take a seat in that place or sending someone to do so if it came and kicked you in your face. So it's an insult to me because you think little people don't matter, because you think the people don't matter. Anyway, I would like to talk more about the people, but at the same time, I have to be worried about my livelihood. My life is at stake. My livelihood is at stake here. My position is at stake. And if I let you guys overtalk me and overrule me, then I can't play that part. Sources saying you're not the one who I thought you were. You're not as courageous as I thought. So I have to keep up. That's the only thing I feel he asking me to do. And keep it real. Okay, they wanted to make you naked. Okay, own that shit and keep on moving. It's not going to be none of that little stuff like, oh, back in the days, if somebody was caught in a room with a male and they wasn't married, then that would ruin your chances of being. No, it ain't going to be none of that. You want to sit there and look at me in my private places? Then again, you could sit there and look at me when I'm in the public. Regardless if it's going to be me or the masculine energy, every knee is going to bow. And what I'm looking at here, if this stuff is true, like, again, this is in the dreams and this is in other realms. I have no proof. I'll just be honest and say this. I have no proof right now, besides a couple of things, as to if this person that I've been with this time, all this time, is doing these things. He is very logical. He's very smart. He's very intelligent. Almost maybe a little narcissistic, but a good man. He's been good to me. He's taken care of me. I've never had to worry about anything until this happened. I've never had to pay a bill. When I had my jobs, he didn't want me to work. When I did work, he would let me spend my money on whatever I want to spend it on. I've been on trips. I got whatever I wanted. And I never asked for much. Raised his children, bought them everything they needed. I know women were looking in on this. They wanted a part of it, and they think that they got them. So I'm stuck between wondering, what am I really fighting for? Am I fighting for whatever this connection is that's out there, that's only an illusion to me right now, and I'm second guessing it? Or and it's just to get me to walk away from my throne? Or is it right here under my nose this whole time and I need to fight for it? And since everybody been watching all the time, then they can watch me get it back. I guess it's for me to discern. I guess it's for me to discern. Because to be honest with you, this energy has always reminded me of both of the two energies, the Gemini and Scorpio. So I'm just trying to figure out where it is. I'm the one that's trapped in that fucking circle by myself, looking around like the Truman Show. Like, who can I trust? What do I know? While people try to downplay who I am on this planet right now. And it's not to get any kind of sympathy or anything. It's to speak the truth, because what's happening to me could be happening to anybody. We have children that are going to be, if they want to get rid of me or anyone else like me, we have children that are going to be left on this planet to be able to have to survive through this. Enough is enough. The insurrection means something to me. It's disrespectful to me, because ever since then I've been getting all of these things of these messages and downloads, and hearing these things that all these other people that are saying that they're psychic, when really they just have downloads to files that people are giving them about your memories and your fucking Akashics, or have some kind of device where they can go into your mind and play around. What kind of shit is this? And so they're saying things that you can't really ignore, because it's dead on with what's going on in your life. And you're wondering, how do they know this? Difference between the Son of God and the Son of Man. Difference between the spiritual groups when it comes to Israel, and then those that are not. They deal more with again, man and law. It means something more to me. It means that my children were put in situations, my grandchildren were put in situations where officials, I feel, have taken bribes and things in order for harmful things to happen to my granddaughter, especially. And I'm going to keep on speaking on it. How do you have a child for the first time in your life and she comes back with a busted lip and other issues with her that won't be discussed here right now? That clearly was a sign of abuse. Only for the father to never show up again. What kind of stuff is this? I already know that my children are gifted. I already know that my children are something that somebody wants to get their hands on. The white buffalo woman and her children, all of these children about the white calf child and things like this. I know it already goes through and stems through my bloodline. And when I was reading about some of this stuff with the Sioux, it says that this energy is not supposed to be touched. Have they used other kind of ways to get in access to or defile? What are these green cards and who are these holders? And what are these green cards really for? Some of these specialty green cards that people are having when they're coming over the border. Again, America is tired of these motherfuckers with their hand under her skirt, trying to show what's going on. It's time to look at what these people are doing. And it just so happens that me saying to myself a year or two ago that I like to keep a tight circle, I like to keep something of protection around my home, and I was go ahead and doing that video about what these actual some of these documents and these things were about, especially when it came to these patents and stuff like that. And then there you go. Here's the attack. It's same thing. The administration that this person was on the media talking about, the same thing. I mean, it's just all of this is starting to come to me now. All of the groups of people that you see, go back to around January 6th, go back to a year ago, 2 years ago, and then see what I was talking about around that time. So the illusion distracted me from talking about that stuff, even though I still was keeping it real on other things. It's just more so how much of that stuff were they interjecting what they wanted me to talk about in there so they can find out things about me so that they can clone or again try to take that information or whatever and use it for whatever they have plans on putting someone else in a position of power that would be over me. Wrong. Whole time remain in Mexico seemed like something different to me. It seemed like it's a threat that, again, at that particular time, it felt like that's when they snatched away, again, the telepathic communication between me and what I felt was the true divine masculine. And I feel like they placed him with a friend or someone else, right? And if I don't do right, or if I'm not willing to bow down or be subdued, then I can't have him back. And that would be my only real true connection with anyone really on that deep level or scale that I would even like to even be around or attached to. Seeing as though I am maybe different. See, meanwhile, then, okay, if that's not the case, then we'll go ahead and, maybe have him go out and start whatting fans. Well, I done already said the shit, okay? And we're going to show it to you. We're going to allow you to see the change. We're going to allow you to see it. And if that don't work, then we're going to come in your household and we're going to allow your husband to do these things. When I've never had a problem with infidelity. I mean, he could have been even more worried about me than I ever had to been worried about him. I was the one out going crazy, partying and kicking it, while he stayed home with the children. And maybe I didn't appreciate it at that time. But again, or I didn't see it for what it was at that time. But I grew out of that shit quick, though, and stayed at home. Because I've always been able to self-discipline. I've always been able to correct myself. I didn't have those parents that were there like that for me. I've always had to do those things. I always had source in the ancestors. And I didn't know it was like that until this very 2 years. I didn't really get to see what it was really talking about. The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. Well, again, is that why they sitting here letting me have to fight for it by myself? After disconnecting or trying to interfere with the connection between me and the original divine masculine? To make it look like I'm just so lowly now, and to have it where, again, the actual masculine that's in the house doesn't even want, at some points in time, doesn't even want to do what he's supposed to do, his chores anymore, or do these particular things that he used to do like clockwork. So it's almost like they have control over the vassal. And at the end of the day, they're telling me, we'll starve you out. We'll do this. We're going to make sure you don't have nothing. Actually, people are going to be looking. They're going to be laughing. They're going to be gawking. And we're going to make it seem like you ain't nothing. And we're going to exalt all these idols. And so, again, this is why God got pissed off about the idol worship. And this is what he said. I told you. You could touch all these other trees, but not this one. But they decided to do it anyway. But they cloaked it. That's the thing. They cloaked it. They cloaked me so I can't see.